All right. Shalom. First and foremost, of course, gonna give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Yahweh, which is named the Most High, and Yahushai, which is the name of the one begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I just wanted to, speak about, a topic I usually don't speak about. But, I just wanted to, shed some, may I say, light on the issue, for lack of better words, because I've been doing, a lot more, research into the, subject lately, man, and, just, becomes ever more clear, right, clearer than ever, man, okay, that this, the organization, calls themselves NASA, right, which, we all know them as, the ones who, give us the information about, space and, pictures of, the Earth and, planets and whatnot, man. But hey, look, here's the thing, right? And you can look this up yourself, man. Okay, if you just go on Google, right, and you look up, images of, let's just give an example, right? If you look up images of a satellite, right, you just look up the word satellite, you go to images. It's just supposed to give you pictures of the things that you search up and look for. Okay, like if I look up, the word, let's just say for an example, if I look up a picture of a boat, if I just type the word boat in, there's going to be an icon there that I can click on, which will take me to images of a boat. Or if I look up the word flowers, it will most certainly bring up the pictures of flowers. Like, I mean, real physical pictures of flowers from out in the world, not computer generated fakery. Anyway, if you look up the word satellite, right, and go to the images, every picture that shows up is clearly an artist's illustration of what a satellite looks like. There is no real photos that pop up. Obviously, it's very suspicious, which I'm not one of those guys out there that, says, oh, well, there ain't no satellites. I mean, hey, I'm not that far into it, right? Am I going to say there isn't any? No, I'm not going to say that, all right? Because I'm not, as I said, I'm not myself, I haven't done too much research into that particular, topic. But one thing that is very, may I say, fishy, for lack of better words, is, if you go to certain parts of the earth, man, like in, say, for an example, the, Amazon rainforest, or, a vast desert, or the middle of the ocean, just to give free, diverse examples to prove the point, you're going to find what? That in these places, there is no signal. You cannot call. You cannot use the internet. You cannot do any of these things in these areas. Because why? Because there's no cell phone towers in the area, which is, from what I see, guys been saying that that's, where, you get the, may I say, the access to the internet. You get the, ability to make phone calls instead of from satellites, which again, as I said, that could be true. That might not be true. But it is very ridiculous, or I say very strange, on how if there's, these thousands of satellites circling this, quote unquote globe, right? Well, why the hell is it that there's certain parts of the world that, like the three places mentioned, right? The ocean, the, Amazon rainforest, the, a vast desert, to give free diverse examples. Well, if you go there, you can't get the connection. I mean, that's very strange. I mean, if there's 15,000, which I don't even know how many there are, it could be upwards of 50,000, 20,000, I'm not sure. But, it's definitely, enough out there that it should be covering the entire Earth, man. Okay, so that's enough for the satellites. That are, well, I'll mention this as well. If you look at, the supposed, spacewalk, footage and whatnot, man, which is enough on that that's suspicious to begin with. But another thing as well that's interesting is if that's real, right? You look at the Earth in the background, and you will never see a satellite. You will never see satellites. Now, if there's these thousands upon thousands upon thousands of satellites that are supposedly, excuse me for stuttering, that are supposedly, you know, circling the world, well, don't you think at some point or another, one of them would come close enough to, say, for example, the ISS, where we would see it on camera? But you never do. Very suspicious. Another thing, if you look up the images of the Earth, right, you're going to notice that if you look at all the pictures, each of them, say for an example, when it shows the continent of, America on there, right, the United States, you're going to notice that on one picture, it's one shade of color. On the other picture, it's one other shade of color. And not only that, which one would say, well, it depends on the season. Fair enough. But here's the fishy part. On each of these pictures, there are the same continent, right? America is very small on one, but huge, right? Gigantic on the other picture. Now, how the hell can one tell me that's real? How can one thing be small on one picture, but if it's the same damn thing, how could it be so huge or big on the other picture? It doesn't make any sense. So clearly there's something that's going on. There's most certainly something that's going on with this whole NASA, man. Right, as I said, man, y'all gotta look into it, man. Which I want to give a little shout out real quick, because there is a very may I say, good book out there, which I own the book. I've read it. It's called The Flat Earth Conspiracy by Eric Dubay. Now, most of you should probably know who Eric Dubay is. He's pretty much the, one of the main, guys out there that, teaches, about the whole flat earth thing, which I'll say this, man, I have a history of flat earth, man. I used to, I remember when it first came out, right? When it first started to be like, a big topic of discussion. I believe that was in 2015, but I came into it in 2016, right? When it was just really a hot topic, man. Like, I remember, man, sometimes sit there and watch an 8-hour debate, man. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic when I say that. I'll sit there for 8 hours and listen to a discussion, about it, because it's a very interesting topic. It really is. Because, whatever, may I say, position that you yourself take on the topic, it can't be, dismissed as being crazy. It really can't, because it can't be disproven. It's one thing to say, oh, well, that's stupid, that's not true, but how can you prove it? For example, nobody can prove that the Earth is a globe. All they can do is say, well, here's a picture on the internet that shows it. Nobody can actually prove it for themselves. It cannot be done. It cannot be proven. For another example, it can never be proven by any experiment that there is, and excuse that noise in the background, family walking by in the near distance. But anyway, water will always remain level. There is no experiment that can be done that can show that water can curve or bend. For an example, if you take, let's just say, for a little experiment, if you go on an airplane, right, if you go on a flight, which, by the way, it's called an airplane for a reason, because they're flying over a plane. But that's a topic for another time. Where that's a topic for another what if inside joke. But if you take a water bottle, right, let's just say a standard plastic water bottle, and let's say you drink the water, let's say to under the, let's just say an inch under the logo on the water. I mean, the logo on the container, right? And the reason why I had to make such distinctions is because here's what you're going to do. You're not going to drink any more of it. You're going to take a marker and you're going to draw around the container. You're going to do that exactly at the point that the water is at in the container, right? Now you're going to let that sit there on the, let's say you set it on the book or whatever on the plane, something that's flat and level. You place it there, right, for the entire trip. And for the entire trip from wherever you're going, the water will always remain level with that line. It's never going to, start to tilt, to the left or tilt to the right. It's never going to do that. It's going to always remain level. Now, one would think that, if you're actually going around, a ball earth, right? The water would, tilt slightly, as you're, going around the curvature of the world. But it does not. It remains level the entire way, which again, there can never be an experiment that could be presented to support the idea that water can curve. It can't be. And it cannot be proven. So, pretty much that's, going to wrap up this whole, thing. But another thing I, might want to say as well, man, is, if you watch, footage of these space, I meant to say space, excuse me for my stutter. Scriptures say that Moses was not a man of much talk, right? That's why he had, his brother Aaron to, to be one of his guides, right? To be his voice for him. Let's talk for Moses, but that's a topic for another time. Anyway, if you watch these space walks, you can notice, man, that sometimes you can see bubbles that are coming up from these spacecrafts, right, from the ISS. Now, why the hell are there bubbles in space? Why? Because these spacewalks are being filmed in Olympic-sized swimming pools. That's the only logical conclusion one can come to. And they'll admit that, yeah, we do our, training for spacewalks in pools, just so, they can get the, the experience of, of it being similar to space, however that somehow works. But again, in the official spacewalks, you can see at certain times, you can see bubbles that are coming up from the craft. Now, how the hell is that possible? Unless they're faking the footage. It just doesn't make any sense. And then not only that, there's been multiple times that these astronauts have been caught, either dropping something, right? And it falls as if, there was gravity there, right? When they're on the space station. You can look up the videos of that. Okay, or you can see wires holding somebody up, and there's been video clips of that online. You can just Google it and you'll see it. You'll see the videos, man. Or so, I mean, hey, the proof is there, man. I'm not going to tell anybody what to believe, but I mean, only an idiot could believe what they're seeing, man. I mean, there's just too much that needs to be taken into consideration here. There's too much here that needs to be questioned. All right, so all I'm gonna say, man, is everybody needs to do their research into this topic, because it's very interesting. It really is. But I'm just gonna end the video off with saying that. I hope that was edifying. If anybody made this far into the video, I want you to put hashtag NASA in the comment section down below, just for a little fun. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom.